What's up, people? Good morning. Good morning. It's a little bit after 11. Friday. Big payday Friday. Happy Mexican Independence Day today, September 16th. Uh, also, also, this month is Hispanic Latino Heritage Month. Um, it started yesterday, September 15th, up until October 15th. Latino Heritage Month. So everybody of Latin descent, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Cubans, Dominicans, uh, Salvador, Central America, Salvadorians, Guatemalans, Hondurans, Nicaraguans, Costa Rican, Panamanian, jump to South America, Venezuela, Colombia, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, and anything I might have missed, not purposely. I think I pretty much covered everything. Brazil, some Brazilians claim Latino, some don't. Hispanic, it depends. Also a lot of the Spanish introduced a lot of the same things that many Spanish countries, the Spanish, Latin American countries, the religion, the language. Most of these Filipinos speak Filipino, different dialects of Filipino, but some of them know Spanish. Lucky Loco, good morning. Um, that also consists of Brazil, excuse me, Portugal, uh, Italian. Some say Italian was first Latinos, but now, speed up to nowadays, they don't really claim that now no more. Anyways, so remember Latino Heritage Month. A lot of people say Hispanic started yesterday, September 15th, until October 15th. Hello. Hello, everybody. Thanks for stopping in. Um, as you know, well, I don't know. Maybe you guys don't know, but if you read it in the description and the title, tomorrow night is going to be the trilogy of Saul Canelo Alvarez contra against versus Gennady Golovkin, aka Triple G. They're fighting tomorrow night for um, the king of 168 super middleweight titles. As you should know, Canelo has all of them: the WBC title, the WBA title, the WBO title, and the IBF title. He's also the lineal champion. Lineal champion is a name only. Lineal champion is not actually a belt. It's just a name only, and it means that the man that beat the man. So Canelo is considered the man at super middleweight, which is 168 pounds. He's an undisputed king, and he's going to be fighting the middleweight champ. Golovkin Triple G has two belts, but he's stepping up in weight. So his belts are not on the line. Only Canelo's belts are on the line because they're fighting at that weight, 168. The last two times they fought at 160 middleweight. Um, even I'm gonna say this, even though Triple G won his last fight and unified and won another title when he beat Murata, um, he looked 40 years old. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was able to win. He had some good power punches, but his movement, feet work is not there from what I could see. So I don't see him winning against Canelo, who's still in his prime. Yeah, people are gonna say, "Oh, he just came off a loss." Yeah, he came off a loss against a much bigger man and a guy that knew how to fight. You know what I mean? He stepped up and weight. Like he said before, he's done things. He wants to be known for doing things that most people don't do. So, he was the 154 champion. Then he went up middleweight champion. Then he went up to super middleweight, won a belt or two. Then stepped up to light heavyweight, knocked out uh, Kovalov, and took his belt. at 175. Then went back down to super middleweight and conquered the division. Skip, good morning, Skip. Or actually, good afternoon. I know in New York, we're already at the 2, right? 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 o'clock. So I just don't see at his age, 40 years old, that he's going to be able to beat Canelo in this third fight. It's going to be worth a lot of money, that's for sure. A lot of hype. This fight's been hyped up for already now a couple of years. The first fight, people say that it was a rule to draw at the end, but they say that Triple G won. I can agree with that, but I can also agree with the tie. I mean, come on, that's compared to other things we've seen in boxing. It's not. It wasn't like outlandish, like way out of, you know. The second one, I believe Canelo won, hands down. He was always the one coming forward, and Triple G couldn't answer, some of the body shots and the jab that he was working. 213 NYC, yeah. Daniel Ortiz, how you doing? So we got a few people in here. Yeah, I just don't see. I just can't see. I just don't. I actually even seeing Canelo getting maybe not a KO, but a TKO, where he's just putting them on him, and refs ends up stepping in and stopping it. I honestly believe that Triple G speed and not speed, excuse me, his footwork and head movement is not there. The 40, being 40 years old caught up to him. Again, he's still champion. He's still a champion at 40 years old. He has 2 belts in the middleweight division. But this fight, he's stepping up in weight, fighting at 168. I believe he's never even fought at 168 before. I mean, people think, it's only 8 pounds, but believe it or not, when a guy steps up in division, up in weight, it really makes a difference sometimes. Look at Danny Garcia, for example. At 140, he was knocking out everybody. 147, he still was getting a few, he still was, hurting some people. Now he's fighting at 154, and he only fought once, but, it was against Benavidez. Jose Benavidez Jr., maybe he just wasn't able to rock him. But, I think putting on the 14 pounds is diminished his punching power. But again, it was only the first fight. You know what I mean? So don't get me wrong. Triple G's, the power is the last thing to go when you're a professional fighter. You know what I mean? And he has power, that's for sure. I mean, he showed it already. All the guys he's hurt. But Canelo's a beast, a different type of breed. He's able to take punches. I've never really seen him rock before. Not that I can think of, except for that couple of them early fights. I seen him one time get hit, and he fell against the ropes, and I remember that. That was a replay that I seen because he was fighting out of Mexico, and he was young. Canelo's been fighting professionally since he was 15 years old. Now he's like 32, 33, and he's still in his prime, and he shows it. Anyways, I wanted to touch on that, and then I also wanted to touch on. I want to also talk about. I watched a decent, a nice little documentary this morning on Nate Diaz, and they took it back to his days before even the UFC, when he was fighting in 2004, and that was the final fight of his contract. But where does he go from here? So I know he talked about maybe boxing, and he also talked about perhaps putting on something, like as far as some type of promotion or something. Cousin Paulie, how's it out there in Philly, bro? Appreciate you stopping by, man. Just talking about the super middleweight fight coming up tomorrow. The trilogy between Triple G and Canelo. And then I also just brought up Nate Diaz, barely brought it up, about Nate Diaz fighting his last fight in the UFC, and where does he go from here? And I brought up the fact that he had mentioned he wants to take on different things. So he mentioned boxing, and he even mentioned kickboxing, but then he kind of went back on it. And then he said that certain people could kickbox in his, he made it sound like promotion, or like he was going to put on an event. So I don't know what that means, just an event here and there, or does he mean like how like Khabib did and started his own fight company? I don't know. We'll have to see. But they showed, you know, his span of fights. He broke out in the UFC in I think '07 in the UFC. Some of his early victories, some of also some of his losses. The one TKO loss he had, and then he came back and knocked out the next guy he fought. It wasn't the same guy, but he's had some good. Nate's had some good victories in there against some good opponents. He always comes to fight. We know that. You know what I mean? And then and I was surprised on all the breaks. He took a couple of different times a year off. Then he took off I think 3 years at one point. So that's where we got only the 8 fights in 9 years, or the 9 fights in 8 years. But you know, he's been in there with some beasts. Um, you know, Leon Edwards at the time. Now Leon Edwards is the champion at the welterweight division. He just kicked uh, Kamaru Usman and knocked him out. Took his title. That was his last loss. Was in 2015 to Kamaru Usman. He hadn't lost since. He was on like a 10-fight winning streak. But it just showed in the fight with Leon and Nate Diaz that, you know, Leon's a beast, and he was doing his thing all the fight. But then Nate hit him with a two-piece and boom, almost knocked him, almost dropped him. And then he hit him again with a two-piece and almost dropped him. He had him hurt bad at the end of the fight. You know, and then I started hearing Nate speak in a lot of these fights. He definitely wasn't taken serious at all with the training or anything. He says it, you know. So just imagine if this guy, and these both brothers actually, if they took everything real serious like most competitors do, what they could have possibly have done. You know, maybe he would have beat McGregor the second time, Leon Edwards, you know, Jorge Masvidal, you know, different people he's fought and lost against. You know, he's had a 20, I think he has a 35 fight career thus far. You know, he's 37 or 38 years old. I don't know how much longer he's got in the tank to fight. His brother, same thing. His brother's a year or two older than him. So I don't see his brother fighting much either. But who knows really for sure what they have in store. Cousin Big Lou, Dios te bendiga siempre. Te echo la bendición. Bendiciones a tu esposa y tu niño. Me respeto siempre. Strength and honor always. Yes, sir. Don Edwin Jiménez, de la Isla del Encanto. Vaya, montate. Gracias, Pai. By way of the Bronx. Chilling, okay. Just stop to say sup to you and the guys on the road. All right, cousin Paulie, be safe on the road, bro. Appreciate you stopping by, saying what's up. As well as you, Skip, be safe out there on them roads. You know, when I was growing up, I remember my mom always saying, you got to be a defensive driver. I didn't know what the hell she would mean by all that. Now I know after being an adult and driving, you know, yeah, you got to pay attention to what you're doing, but you got to watch everybody else's movements, because people make crazy ass movements out there on them highways and them roads. You know, they don't take consideration that you could have kids in the car, none of that, you know, so it's nuts. So you got to just be always on your toes, always paying attention. And like, it's key to me anyways, but awareness is always key. In my book, it was how I was schooled. You know, it is what it is, and it's smart to do so. You know. Anyway, just got back from the park, doing my little routine that I started doing few days ago. I've been going up every day. I started out just a mile the first day, a mile and a half the second day. Today I did 2 miles walking, so feel pretty good. Trying to continue to do it. Yeah, head on a swivel. Take care of RollsRoyce. Yep. So yeah, this is gonna be a quick little live. I just wanted to talk about, you know, speak a little bit about the fight that's gonna come up. You know, a lot of people have been anticipating this trio. Like I said, I think the last time they fought was in 2019. I think it was the second one. So now the third one's they're about to fight the third one. And somebody even asked Canelo if he was to win, if he would fight a fourth one, and he said no. Which I find that really hard to believe, because it's just too much money on the table when it comes to fighting somebody like Canelo. You know, and that same reason is why he's not fighting some of these other guys, because they don't bring the revenue. You know, if you're making $10-15 million a fight, and somebody that only, somebody that's only bringing in $200,000 a fight wants to fight you, it's not going to be real big on your schedule, especially from your management and your team for business. You know what I mean? Joe De La Mura, what's going on? I know you guys are all into the soccer right now, right? I know soccer's real big in Europe. I mean, it's big. It's big everywhere. But Europe, the Scottish teams, the Irish teams, the German teams, the English teams, Spanish teams, you know, all those different countries. Uh, I heard Danny Storage make a video the other day talking about his team against Jerry Gambuti's team. So I don't know if that's an Australian team or that's an Italy team. I'm not really sure on that, but soccer is real big all through Africa as well. Through Mexico, Canada, Central America, South America. I'm not real sure about Asia though, how popular soccer is over that way. But yeah. So I just wanted to touch on those few things. It's gonna be a real short live, probably maybe 5 more minutes. Just trying to keep, dropping a little something to keep that algorithm going. You know what I mean? What are you guys all up to today? Michael Mile, what's going on? Michael, is your last name pronounced Mile? Like a mile you put on your car or a mile you walk, or is it more meal? Because I hear people say it different ways. Yeah, okay, I got you, Joe De La Mura. So yeah, Gambuti. Gambuti's from Australia, but he's Italian. You're Italian from England, Britain. So who do you also go with the Italian teams or you roll with the English teams? More Millie. Wait a minute, Millie. Okay, keep treating that algorithm right, baby. It's your friend. Yeah, I know. I know. I tripped out how I was. A couple of weeks I was sick and I wasn't on there. I gave me a few like 20 subs. So um, that's why a lot of times now when I'm doing videos, I'll throw in the video. Be sure to sub, like, and share both channels, this one and the No Fly Zone. Because I think it helps. You know. Yeah. The key too, Skip, is to do the shorts. More shorts you drop out there, the more you drop, and obviously the more views you get. Seems like YouTube caters to you a lot more. Okay, got you. Italian team first. I mean, English team first, Italian team second. See you soon, Big Lou. Preparing here for hurricane. Yeah, next month, or the end of this month, hurricane season. So, Edwin, were you living there during that last one we had over there? Was pretty bad. Yeah, it's bad over there in the Caribbean and the hurricane season, as well as Florida and sometimes um, inland United States. What do you think, Joe De La Mura? What do you think about the proposal? Tyson Fury put out the proposal to fight Anthony Joshua, but at a 60-40 split on the purse. A lot of people were saying that Joshua shouldn't do it, and some were saying that this was from English. I heard this from people from England saying, like Michael Bisping. I think it was Michael Bisping. He said that Anthony Joshua shouldn't do it. But don't quote me if he said this, but he did mention spoke about it. but it was somebody else. It was definitely somebody else from the UFC or from boxing that said that he shouldn't do it because it should be a 50-50 split, if anything, because his name is more, it's worth more in boxing. That he brings more to the table as far as audience and pushing the event. And then he's coming off of 2 losses back to back, so it's like, you know what I mean? And then only, I think he offered him, he put it out there to fight him like next month or something before the year's over. So it was only like 3 month resting period, and he's already lost 2 fights back to back. Yeah, he should be fighting Usyk. Yeah, and in that fight, I got Usyk. I got Usyk against Fury only. Now this is the thing. Fury's such a big man, right? Because let's be real, and Usyk back in the day would be considered a big big man, big heavyweight as far as height wise, right? He's 6'3", but he's a little bit less on the weight wise because he just came up from cruiser, so he's what, 215 or something. Anyways, what I was gonna say was that if Fury goes in there and fights him the way he fought uh, Deontay Wilder in their second fight, where he was using his weight and just constantly bullying on him, trying to push him around and leaning up on him to where Wilder had to use all his strength to push him off him. If he does that to Usyk, maybe that would slow him down and tire him out, maybe. But if they just straight up box, I think Usyk he's got some rhythm. He gets in a groove and a rhythm. Fury does too, but the difference with the Fury is Fury's so long, he's so tall, and his arms are so long that it sometimes looks awkward. That's my opinion. But most everybody's went against me on that's expressed their opinion. Um, Obviously, Usyk's not a power puncher like Wilder. He's only got 13 knockouts out of 20 fights. But hey, it could happen. I mean, he could hurt him. You're talking, 5-6 inches height difference. Joshua's tall too, but Joshua's 6'6". Fury's even bigger than that. If Fury don't knock him out, I think Usyk will outbox him. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But then Fury's. Well, I'll be honest with you, Fury surprised me with the Wilder, as far as the power, and then also this last one, the Dillian White, he knocked him out too. I think. Do you remember that time that Fury almost knocked himself out? All right, people. So I just came on for a few minutes, just to speak a little bit about the fight coming on. I might come on later on, but we'll be dropping a pre-record video a little later. Thanks everybody. Again, like I said, thanks for stopping by. Be safe out there. I wish everybody a blessed, productive, and positive day today. Remember, always be responsible on the roads. Never drink and drive. You got to call an Uber, a taxi, have a designated driver. Or, man, if it comes down to it, you got to walk. It's always safer walking than to have some type of accident. You know what I mean? So we got Joe Delamere from tapping in from Great Britain. We got Skip tapping in from New York, as well as Michael Mormill. We got Edwin Jimenez tapping in from the little island of Puerto Rico, right? And we have Sean Whalen from Ireland tapping in. That's cool. I appreciate everybody. Yeah, so catch me later on, possibly on the live, but I got a video dropping later on. All right, people. Thanks.